Everybody see that?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I'm going to drop a form here in a little bit. Remind me as I get started, Aaron, if you could do that, just say, hey, could you drop that in? And I might have to pause for no laughing in the background for about 40 seconds till I learn how to drop it in there, because there's going to be a form that every one of you guys are going to want to get your hands on. But let's go ahead and start the case, and we're going to talk about an actual case study. This is FNA 101 for the brand new people. That stands for financial needs analysis. I'm going to talk to you like you're at least a district or above. If you're below district and you're totally confused, take some cliff notes and get together with your leader and say, I don't know how this training is, but I'm totally confused. And hopefully you guys can clean it up, okay? Because I can't babyfy it any further down to a district. Does that make sense? Another thing I'm going to set the tone with. Everybody is not security licensed, even if you are security licensed. I'm going to convey the FNA as if you did not have a securities license. Is that fair enough? So yep. I'm going to share with you how to convey the message and how to paint the picture. The securities license is very important. It's like going into this business with one hand tied behind your back. You got to get your securities license. But there's a stage that you have to go through, I believe, in the first 90 days, maybe 6 months, that you need to be out there in the field getting bloody, okay? So I don't know if that was a good way to introduce this topic, but let's get started, okay? FNA 101. Today, we're going to talk about, let me set the tone here real quick. Remember what I talked about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Ethan? I'm trying to remember. I lost track of my time here. I'm going out to the baseball trip this Friday, so I might lose track, and then I come back and there's a diplomat. Remember, never mind, I'm having fun here with you, but I have a lot of fun in this business. Okay, so remember, be in line with your leader. Please don't go back and overhaul it. That would be a big pet peeve. If I had one of my key people on my team that came and saw this training this morning and says, that's the problem, my leader sucks because we don't have this. Well, guys, listen. We're one team, one dream. Take a carburetor adjustment. Don't overhaul your system, okay? I just want you to take bits and pieces and go, man, that'd be a good golden nugget. So, but you have to be 100% committed. Everything I talked about now and to the future here on training, you got to be 100% committed. This is not a one-night project, okay? Everything I convey is a picture. Not one size fits all, as I mentioned before. It isn't. There is not a one size fits all. You might see some things that you might disagree with, and you have the right to do that. You're a leader, okay? But again, I'm repeating for the third time. Take a little bit, maybe make an adjustment. Say, you know, that would be really cool. The form that I'm going to be dropping here in a little bit, no one's required to change your overall system to go to this form I'm going to share with you. But I think it's a great tool. It's something that we use, but it's not the answer. It still comes down to you. Remember, I'm getting ahead of myself, but people buy you, right? People buy you. They don't buy the company. Like I said, make those little adjustments here. And always remember, people buy emotionally and back up their purchase logically. And that's pretty much, I'd say 60 to 70% of today's meeting is going to be on the logical side. Okay, so let's get rolling and we'll get started. Okay, here's the outline of today's subject. We're going to be dealing, now keep in mind, I use the B$ SMART system. If you're not aware of that, I'm not here to say your system don't work, but it is data gathering. It's just a tool to gather data. Is everybody fair with me on saying that? Okay, yep. So I use the B$ system, but there could be maybe 8 to 9 alerts that come up. I will be here till probably 6 o'clock this evening if we do all 9. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I have to dice it. We're only going to use basically 3: a rollover. We're going to do a Roth IRA and no life insurance. You'll see that here in just a little bit. Just simple, and I'm going to share with you how to put that together. So with that being said, this is the outline. We're going to do a case study. I'm going to give you the numbers in just a minute. We're going to share with you how to collect the data. I went over a lot of details a couple weeks ago on how to close and the closing words. Now you're going to see where those words came from. Okay, I would love to say I'm a genius and I got all those words memorized and I just blurted out and get these commitments. No, I ain't that good. You're going to see in a minute off the data collection form how those words come into play. Next, we're going to talk about the data input. This is the techie side. Okay, I'm going to share with you how to input that and how you put that in the FNA and simplify it. I think you'll appreciate that, Aaron. I'm even if I could turn on my technical side and go overboard with you today, but it's not necessary. We're going to keep it simple. And that's why I said, if you're a district or above, you'll be fine today. You should be at least know what an F&A is. Okay. Makes sense. Adjusting the F&A. We're going to share with you garbage in, garbage out. You don't just type the data in and hit the print button and say, here you go, this is your F&A, and you say, well, that doesn't happen. No, I've seen it happen. I had a guy on my team that had an appointment at 6 o'clock and he was printing the F&A at 5:45 p.m. I mean, he was printing it 15 minutes beforehand. I said, have you looked at the numbers yet? He goes, no, I just put the information in and I'm spitting it out. And I'm like, you are in trouble. Okay. Because they will know without a doubt whether you know what you're doing or not. The F&A is just a tool. It's just a tool. We're going to talk about setting the stage for the future and so forth. So you'll see and witness that all together here. So these are basically the 5 breakdowns of today's training. And so let's go ahead and get started. This is our system of how we build a client step by step. I still believe in the 2-step process. Now, there's probably some great people online that can actually close on the first appointment. God bless you if you can do that. I'm not here to change your system. We use the 2-step process, which is commitments on the first appointment, closing on the second. So what is illustrated here today, we're going to utilize the B$ Smart, gathering the data. And then you're going to witness here in a few minutes our data collection form called the action plan. And then always pick up documents and statements and policies. You can't just write a bunch of ink down on with your pen and paper. And because have you ever had anybody like that, Aaron, go, yeah, I got $1 million policy and I pay $8 a month for it.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? Get the statements, get the policy. I always love it when I have a new recruit come back and he goes, Wayne, we can't beat the rate. They're paying $8 a month for $1 million policy. And I go, man, if there's $1 million policy for $8 a month, I want it. Okay. Go get the paperwork. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about today what's between the left and the middle. See that arrow in the middle? That's what we're going to do today. How you prepare. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about how to present the F&A, right? The F&A appointment, and get the LIPE app, which is the 3-box close. And then we didn't have time because we would have been there too long. But then there's that gathering process. If you didn't do it on appointment 1, we have a lot of our associates gather the securities documents on appointment number 2 to get it ready for the security specialist. And we always get referrals. And we have techniques on what we do during the gathering process to get referrals. What can drive from that? The security appointment, proposals, submit applications, and then obviously other products that we work with. Now, some people get the prepaid legal on the spot. God bless you again. I'm not here to change your process. We usually do it on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th appointment. And people go, how do you have time to do all that? I either have my staff do it, or I do it 5 minutes or 10 minutes here in the evening. You don't have to take that long to submit those. I just think the brain can only handle so much on one appointment. Are we in agreement there? I think if you do too much, even though you could close the deal and they said they wanted ID theft, that don't mean you need to stop your process and work on that app, right? There's pieces, and I think there's touch points that we have to deal with. The more times you communicate with them, the less likely they believe you're just a blow in, blow out salesperson. Make sense? Yep. You got to have that. That's professional. I believe it is, and it works best. So for today's client information, take a picture of this if you wouldn't mind with your phone, so we can kind of leave your phone open. Well, you might be taking pictures all along, but who knows? But at least have it somewhere. Maybe write it down. I'll pause here for about a minute. We got a married couple here, 48 and 43. I'm changing it up. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I did a 30-year-old. I bumped it up. I think if you're in the right market, the one I'm going to be sharing with you is one that I think is seasoned and prime for you guys to make a lot of money in. Okay, I'm not trying to put age on it, but usually in their 40s, you got some kind of money socked away. This couple has 2 kids, and they're not kids in diapers. You see where I'm going with this? 19 and 16. Husband makes $5 grand a month. The wife makes $4 grand. Their goal, if you notice right off the bat, is to retire at age 60, which is a very short window from 48 to 60. Would you agree?
Yes.
They want to replace 100% of their income because they're spending everything. And they're both non-tobacco users. So hopefully you jotted down all 5 bullet points, because we'll be using this data as I go into the next section here. So, all right, so I'm going to shut down PowerPoint. Get ready. I'm going to share with you step by step how this process works. So let me go to the next part. Okay, this is the form that you have the opportunity. You don't have to go with this, but you could actually utilize this system. When we gather data, it might be done on a yellow pad. Now, data is done like this. Let's say we're going through $B Smart and we got, Aaron, I don't know, 8 different alerts. Remember, we're only going to work with 3. So what's the first thing we always say after we're done gathering information, whether it be on a yellow pad? Some people use forms. What I'm using is the $B Smart system. The first question you ask at the end, based on all these priorities, what is your number 1 priority? And then I pull up the action plan. You'll notice here there's kind of a picture of a couple here with a child in their arms. There's visual, there's emotion that starts to get involved here, if you'll notice. One of the things that we've studied is human nature, and we want to, if we're going to get into the technical part, you got to have a little bit of emotion while you're starting to fill this out, not some blank sheet of paper. It looks too techy in my opinion. So thank you, Rebecca, for, I don't know, crystallizing and making this look a little bit more sexier than what Wayne could do. Okay, so with that being said, I go, what is your number 1 priority? And they said right off the bat, let's go ahead and write this here. You'll notice it's fillable. I have an old 401k plan. Okay, no laughing here. My typewriting skills. It's got about $85,000 in it. Now you'll notice something really cool about this form. It's from CHI Health Systems. Now, whoops. Now, I pictured this last night working a little differently. I didn't notice I'd have a typing problem. Okay. So
Doing amazing.
Health systems, right? Look how it shrinks. You could actually write a book here if you wanted to. And there's a reason for this, is because the form looks pretty, but we need sometimes a little bit more data as you're doing. So your number 1 priority, Aaron, is to move that old 401k plan because it's been about 10 years and you believe there's about 85 grand in that. And you get her to confirm again. And she says, yeah, I used to work at CHI. And yeah, I need to move that. That's definitely true. Okay. Now we understand where we're going with this. So that's your number 1 priority. I'm going to put a star next to that. Okay. What is your second most important priority? They said, well, I got to get that Roth IRA. I've been putting that off. I've heard some good things about a Roth IRA. So yeah, I definitely need to get that. So I have no Roth IRA. I need to get that done. And third, most importantly, I've screwed up. I can't believe I'm in my 40s and I have no life insurance. Okay. So that's my number 3 priorities that I would like to get accomplished here for sure. Now, sometimes I might say ID theft, okay, and not put a star because it's not their top priority. Okay. I might put in PLPP, you know, I would probably write it out differently. I would put in no will. Okay. All right. But the bottom line is, if you get the drift today, I got to simplify it. I don't want to be too techy. Otherwise we'll be here way too long. We're just going to deal with these 3. Fair enough? All right.
Fair.
Off to the left, because of Zoom, I forgot to type it here. You want to put the name here. We're dealing with Mike and Patricia Doe. Okay. All right. Now here's some technique that you're going to see. And guys, when I get done filling this out and you're watching me go through the pain of typing, I'll drop this form in here, okay, into the chat. Okay. Pray for me, Ethan, that I know how to do that. Okay. Rebecca's not in the room, so if she knows how to do it from her location, I guess that's fine. But
if you want, I can drop it in there for you, Wayne. Does that
you
help?
already have it. Okay, very good. Drop it in there for everybody, please. Thank you. That way now I can close that screen. Okay. Sorry about these pauses, guys. It's just, oh, never mind. Okay, now here's technique number one. Off to the right, you can see our top priorities. Now listen closely here. How often, Aaron, do you get paid? Now let's say for today's purposes, because she doesn't know the answer key, she says twice a month, not every 2 weeks, but you could put that in. So then you could type here. You'll notice the box is kind of small, but you could put in $2,500 twice per month. You see how it's shrinking?
Mm-hmm.
So a little techy, but I think it's kind of cool because you might be able to say, and also I get bonuses. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
You could really have some fun there and get a little more detail. Today's purposes, we're just going to say 2,500 twice per month. The wife is a school teacher. She gets paid once a month, $4,000 per month. Now, if you'll see what I'm doing here, I want to know how often they get paid. There's a technique here. It's coming up. Okay. So when we were gathering this information and then we talked to Mike and Patricia, at what age would you like to retire? Everybody remember if you took down the notes?
60.
60. So you type in 60. In today's dollars before taxes, how much money would you like to have coming in at retirement? You know, meaning you're looking at your current income, which is $2,500 twice per month and $4,000 per month. Now, another thing I want to share with you on that technique is what is your take-home pay? Did you notice that? I didn't say what their gross was.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going into the checkbook because people don't usually know their gross. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. But in today's dollars, how much do you need to have coming in? And they said 100%, you know, of my current income. Okay. Everybody follow me?
Yep.
And we would do the same for them, which is the same. All right. So now let me ask you this. Your current employer, I know you have this old one, Aaron, for 85,000. But when we look at your current one that you have with your company that you're with right now, what's the balance of that? And let's say she says 401k, 100,000. Golly, how did a J come in there? You know, I think people feel sorry for me. That's why they buy. They're like, this guy can't even type. What the heck? So 10% is what I'm putting in with 3% match. Okay. So the idea is you could fill in as much detail as you can. You could say it's $100,000 with principal. Could be $100,000 with fidelity. You know,
Wow.
you can get techy as you want on there. But you know what? What does it say right there at the bottom? Copies. What's it say?
Of recent statements and 401k plan documents with all investment options. Hold on, I have the closed captioning on. I can't see.
Okay. So that way we can produce the most accurate analysis. Okay. So let's move on a little bit here. So we're gonna, next thing is we got, hers got a 401k with $80,000 in it. Whoops, golly.
You put that because you run into 809,000 every day, like air.
Oh, I know. With a 3% match, I just, now again, there might be some that are on line here that think, well, Wayne, that doesn't perfect like that all the time. But the bottom line is you want to know pretty much what they're putting into their own money and what the company's matching at that time. And then another reason why we put this down here is sometimes the B-Dollar Smart, even though it's a great system, does not get everything because people sometimes don't fill out the survey right. So I like repeating it. I said, now you said you had a former, right? Because they might have keyed it in wrong. So they said 85,000 at old 401k, and then I would cross-reference this back to the top. That's the one that we're going to be moving. Okay, you see where I'm going with that? Now, here's another thing I like. It's funny, but B-Dollar Smart sometimes forgets to get other accounts like mutual funds they might have at Edward Jones or something sitting out there for 30,000 because they keyed it wrong. So we didn't know about it. So we added this, Rebecca and I, this investments outside of work. You have any kind of investments outside of work. And then we would put that in. For today's purposes, we're going to leave it blank, but you can get the gist of how we kind of go about this. Now, Ethan, play along with me here. How
Gotcha.
much more could you put aside out of each paycheck towards your investment alerts only? What could you put towards that? Remember we talked about no Roth IRA? Now, most of you already got the commitment. Some do 100, some do 541 or somewhere in between. You know how Sean teaches that, okay, right? We do that. But for this reason, what I want them to think of is out of each paycheck. I'm going to share a story here after I do this. So Ethan, this is pretty easy. $100 because I get paid twice a month. So what does that do? That's $200 a month. The system automatically does the math in case you can't add, okay? You can put this stuff in, boom, it calculates it. Now, let me share a story. I had a person that we were talking about $B smart, said no Roth IRA, and I said, how much do you think you could put away? And he goes, maybe 150 a month. And then we got to this question here, how much could you put aside out of each paycheck towards your investment alert? And he says, oh, I could easily do $75 every pay period and I get paid weekly.
That doubles.
You see the problem? he said he couldn't do 150 is going to be tight. Maybe, possibly, right? See, guys, what there's technique on getting people realize their paycheck. I get paid every Friday or every other Friday or twice a month. So people can relate to what's left over. So it's easier to ask, what can you put away from each paycheck? I've actually increased our monthly contributions even higher than what they gave us a commitment on the no Roth IRA, just by asking that question. Is this helping?
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Now here's a kicker. Ethan, is this amount, this $200, you feel totally comfortable to committing to each and every month? Of course, there's no contract, just a commitment from yourself. But in other words, if you were to write a check out of your checkbook right now, would it hurt? It won't hurt, right?
Looks good to me.
Okay. If no, then what amount would you be able to work for? Because you might have to recommit. Sometimes people give a dream, not a commitment.
That's right.
I would love to do 800 a month. I've actually printed F&As for 800 a month. And then I got back on the second appointment and they go, I never said I could do 800. You asked me what I would like to do. Right? There's a difference. You got to get the commitment. Some people use the budget worksheet. The answer should never be 0 or you're in the wrong market. Does everybody follow me? Now here comes technique number 2. Set the appointment. I'm not even done with the F&A data, but there's a technique here. So Ethan, when's the best time we can get back together? I believe I can get this all processed and ready by Monday. Would Monday work for you in the evening? Does that sound good?
I got soccer with the kids, 6 o'clock on Monday.
Okay. All right, let's do that. That'll be the 31st. And again, we're paraphrasing. Things might be out a little bit longer than that. You might already be booked on Monday, but you put it down Monday at, what'd you say, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, if that works.
Another mistake people do. When would you like to get together? I got all next week open. No. Stop it. I don't care if your whole week is free. You never say that. You look, you pick up your phone, you look at your schedule and go, I got a little bit of availability. What's your availability look like next week? I'd like to get this wrapped up either Monday or Tuesday. I could squeeze it in. How's your schedule look? You see where I'm going with that? Don't say, what day would you like to do? I can do anything you want. What happens with that? You're screwing up right now. People are starting to think, this guy's not busy. And people do not want to do business with people who are not busy. You follow what I'm getting with this?
That's
so
right.
Understand that is critical. Now, the technique you're seeing here is that I've already got the appointment set and I haven't even got to the close. Okay. For the veterans, you know where I'm going with this. See, a lot of times I would close hard because remember, closing's done on the first appointment, not the second, right? I would close hard and then I would try to set an appointment. You know what they're thinking? Oh, crap. Let me see. Golly. Can we just give me a couple weeks on this? Again, you might be in the wrong market, but see, I've already got the appointment set. So when I get to the tough part, which I don't think is the tough, but because if you're flowing with it right, the 85,000 rollover, $200 commitment, it makes it easier because you already got the appointment set. It's fun, right? Does everybody acknowledge here, right? What's so hard about Zoom?
Absolutely.
See, okay, that's as weird as it sounds. It's kind of funny to think that setting an appointment's a technique, but it is. Now, here's how I conclude. Watch this. I haven't even talked about life insurance yet, but you're gonna love this, okay? So my priority to come back with you next on Monday there, Ethan, is to basically build wealth for you and protect your family. If you look at this family next to here to the left here, married couple with a couple kids. See, financial freedom comes when your income from your assets can replace the income from your job. This is an example of what you're going to witness on Monday night when we get back together. You'll notice here, this couple needed $854,000 of coverage, not because they're in love with life insurance, but they know that their balance in their securities, their investments is at $20,000. They're only putting $100 a month away, that if something happened to this family, there's not enough to replace the income. Do you see where I'm going with this, Ethan? I mean, this is a challenge. So for $124, the whole family's covered. Now, this is where the magic of Primerica comes in. This is not a one-night project. You're not going to see me just Monday night at 6 p.m. Ethan, and then I'm out of there. First thing we're going to put in place is the foundation, which we'll get to in just a minute, which is insurance. But then we're going to work on building your net worth. This green arrow, my objective is to build financial independence for your family. And I believe a picture's worth 1,000 words. Can you imagine, just like this family, how do you think this family would feel if they had $2.5 million saved in the near future by the time they retire? How would they feel?
Great.
Pretty
Phenomenal.
good, right? Now, if something happened to them prematurely, the family's taken care of too with $854,000. But we believe in the philosophy, because insurance companies, insurance agents in particular, their renewals, their income is dependent on you keeping life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, the way we get paid is in the green arrow. The more you build wealth, the bigger my paycheck goes up. Do you want to work with somebody where their income, their fee for service is built into helping you become wealthy?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we know that if something happened prematurely, you better be covered. I hope we never have to activate this, but I can't wait, Ethan, until the future where we get rid of this insurance. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So let's put a perfect foundation in place for you. God forbid, life insurance is the foundation. So to determine your perfect coverage, we're going to use this program called DIME, stands for DIME, and I'm going to calculate what your need is. Now, first of all, I'm going to, for today's purposes, so we're not here forever, he would immediately acknowledge that he has $53,200 in debt. You want to take the debt that they give you, and they'll have to add it up. And this today's purposes is $53,200. And then that total with the 15 is $68,200. Okay. Everybody follow me?
Yep.
Now, God forbid if something happened to you, Ethan, your wife, how much income would you need to replace how much income of yours do you think she would need in order to survive? And don't answer. He would say 20 years and 75%, I think would be great for both of us. Okay, everybody following what we're doing here? And
Yes.
how much is your mortgage balance? He says 187,000. And you said you had 2 kids over the age of 15?
Yep.
Okay. We recommend about 50,000 as a kind of a good baseline. The older they get and closer to adult age, that's the best thing you as a parent can pass on is making sure that they're protected. So that way, if anything happened where they weren't insurable, that they have that in place. Wouldn't you agree? So this is what we would determine the perfect coverage. You'll notice I never get a quick quote. Now, some of the leaders on here might go, no, that's when I actually show a quote and I tell them, we can get you all this coverage for this month. I'm not going to say that technique don't work. We just don't show nothing. Here's what we do. We just get the perfect coverage laid out. And then this is where the magic comes in. Ethan, how much are you willing to invest each month to make sure a family is adequately protected. You'll notice up above, that's the perfect protection. Some of our families do $125 each. Some do $200 each. And those who are more on a fixed budget only do about $75 each per month. Which one would best describe you? And he goes, I think we could budget 125 each. And for today's purposes, that's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. Now, somebody might do like $50 each. But there's magic behind that. What's funny is before we actually put this in, Aaron, we would have people in our base shop would come back with these $25 a month life apps, which scare the hell out of me because I know it's got written QBI problem, chargeback. Okay. Well, Wayne, they're broke. Well, first of all, you're in the wrong market. But here's where you want the standards to move up, guys. This is the standards. The company's average policy across the nation is $75. That's what it used to be joint. We're raising the standards to $125 a piece.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean we need to spend all the money. It's just that it's a heck of a lot easier, Ethan, to come back and put your F&A together, knowing you have a solid commitment for $125 a piece. You follow me? Next part. This is all technical stuff. We're not going to mess with that. Current life insurance coverage, you already know. It's zero. Okay? They're spending zero. You might put the group in here if you wanted to, if they have group coverage, height and weight. No, they're not, none tobacco, right? And the same for her, okay? So basic, right? Major medical conditions? No, I'm perfectly healthy. What's it say here at the bottom? Can everybody read that?
Copies of recent statements and policies will yield the most accurate analysis.
You got to have that. Pick up the policy, especially if you're analyzing their current coverage. I got term insurance, $1 million for $8 a month, right? Very, very important. You got to pick that up, guys. Don't just because we have a nice, sexy form here, that don't mean you cut right. You don't shortcut this thing. Go ahead and make sure you get that stuff picked up. Here we go. Here comes to the end. Now, remember, we've already set the appointment for Monday at 6 p.m. Now, let me wrap this up, Ethan. This is my job as a professional. My job is to help your family reach total financial independence, but it will not happen overnight. Myself and our team of specialists are committed to taking this journey with you and your family until you reach total financial independence. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca did the math. It automatically adds it all together for you. Okay. You said that you would be comfortable investing that $200 a month for the raw and $250 combined for life insurance coverage, which is a total of $450 per month towards fixing your alerts. So you get them to acknowledge. Remember, the more time they move their head like this, the closer you get to the final yes, which is, yes, I want to buy it. So, Ethan, if we can show you a personalized strategy that uses those funds to address your top alerts, and you clearly see and agree that it's in your best interest to make these changes, would you allow us to help you implement these solutions when we get back together on Monday night?
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah.
And the best thing you could do, and then you write down their quick data. You're not going to watch me do that. That's their date of birth. You got to do all that. That's boring. Okay. But you have to get it. I need to have right their address, all the kids, their names. I even sometimes put in here, let's say their child's name is Charlie, and I say he plays baseball. You could type as much as you want in this little thing here. Get to know their kids. I love doing that. I'll put the details in there. And then sometimes they'll actually watch me type it. Charlie plays baseball. They actually, the parents will smile. They go, man, you really, yeah, I do. I think I admire that. I like baseball. And you're typing it in, you put the date of birth in there for the child. Okay. And then last but not least, one of the best things, Aaron, you could do is pay it forward. Everything we do is complimentary because you remember my fee for service is built into building your legacy, building estates, helping you become financially independent. That's how I get paid. But you know what? One of the greatest things you could do is share that with others. We call it pay it forward. When we come back and we help fix your alerts, and you clearly see without a shadow of a doubt that this has done some amazing things for you and your family, and you have a great experience, would you feel comfortable introducing us to other families that might benefit from this program? Aaron?
Absolutely, yes.
We'll get those names later. But you know what? I don't have time today, but I actually have 4 names, usually first names only, because you can learn that from Sean Murphy on how to do all that. But I got their names already. I just get another commitment to pay it forward, and then we're done. That's it. We'll see you Monday at 6 p.m. It automatically went in there because it transposed it over to the other side. Now there's going to be a section here that you can see coming up. And matter of fact, guys, this button right here can actually clear the form and you can start a new one. It's really kind of techie. It takes it all out so you don't have to, you know what I mean? I'm being weird with you. This is where I actually customize the strategies. This is the note taking, not in front of the client. When you guys get this, do not continue filling this out. This is your worksheet. This is your homework assignment between the first appointment and the second appointment. That's when you sit down with your brand new recruit, Aaron, and you talk about your strategy that you're going to put together, and you type it all out. And then you say, you know what, we're going to put that 85,000, we're going to put 25 grand of that in structured capital. The rest I'm going to put in a Franklin Templeton. That's where you get a little techie over here to the action step. Make sense? Because you're putting it together. Not a one size fits all. The Roth IRA, I think we should go with Franklin Templeton, and you put in the, the monthly amount right here, and then life insurance, you type in, this is what came up on the F&A, but we're going to actually change it to this. You got to take notes. We're going to come back to this in a few minutes, but now we're going to shut it down and go to the financial needs analysis. Let me pause for a minute. I'm looking at the time here. I want to make sure I get done. Any questions on the form? Anybody? There's no dumb question.
Come on, guys, unmute yourself if there's anything.
Great, I love it.
And
No.
blown away.
I only have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions. That's about it. So
Phenomenal stuff, man. This is awesome, but no question though.
No
Okay.
question.
Whoever
You were
made this
so
form.
thorough.
who made the form?
Yeah, this is amazing.
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Look at Mike. Mike's like going, oh, never mind. I won't say the last word. But you know what I'm saying? But right? Yeah, of course it's Rebecca. She made it. Okay, so this is powerful stuff. And like I said, it's a little techie, but it sure makes your life easier when you're an A-type personality like me. Okay, let's shrink this puppy. Let's go into the financial needs analysis, okay? And I'm going to show you how to transpose it. This time you won't see me go through the pain and anguish of typing. I just wanted to get the full effect. Can everybody actually see this? Did I set it up where you can actually see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
got it.
All right, because I didn't know. Sometimes I'm typing and people go, I don't see nothing. Okay, everybody hopefully knows how to log into Primerica. Again, I said this earlier. This is for districts and above. Up here, Turbo Apps. You click on Turbo. Did everybody see that, or did I go too fast?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, Turbo Apps. Hopefully everybody knows that. If you don't, write it down. I do not know where to go to Turbo Apps. Okay, talk to your leader. Once this pulls up, obviously you've got every F&A you're working on. The one today is on Mike Doe. If you're starting a brand new one, you'd put it right here, add the new contact, and then click on financial needs analysis right up here to start a brand new financial needs analysis. By the way, a lot of you might not know this. Up here on preferences, let me click on that for a minute. In the preference area category, RVPs, you can actually set it up where you can have your preferences be through your entire base shop. Right here under F&A, you can click on financial needs analysis. These are my defaults. The user defaults, the system default is to the right. These are ones that I overrided. We can talk about that later, but I'm basically trying to give you an indication that it's not a one size fits all. Over here, the print preferences is what I want to go to. I use the spinning, whatever that is. It just looks more colorful. I think this is stupid to the left, and this one's boring. So I picked the one on the middle, and here is what I check mark. You'll notice it's very plain Jane. These are the defaults. These are my preferences. Now, anybody can override it, but I always start off with the 3-count system, retirement needs and results. I don't click these because those are done between appointment number 1, appointment number 2. I decide with the new recruit which ones I'm going to click on. But these are the orders. By the way, you can change the order. Isn't that cool? You can change the order, and it can actually come up under their system with the order that the RVP decides it to be with. Because a lot of people always ask, well, Wayne, when I click on this one and this one and that one and that one, is that the order? Yep, it's automatically put in the exact order. Okay, a little techie, apologize, let me cancel that. Let's go back to the Mike Doe financial needs analysis. We're going to pull this up. And since you're not going to watch me go through the pain, I've actually typed it all in there. April 12, 1975. The company, you know, with the new product is based on age base now. We used to round it up in 6 months, but it's exact age. Got the two kids here, Angie and Mark, 19 and 16. Contact information. You'll notice on here, there's all these tabs. And then there's tabs underneath the tabs. Contact info, 123 anywhere. Income. Now, I know that we have a few techie people that go, Wayne, that was their take-home pay. What is their gross? It says gross here. I understand, but I'm not going to be talking about taxes. So if I'm not talking about taxes, why don't I put the net here? I know there's a few people go, Wayne, I disagree. You can do whatever you want. That's what I do. I put the net where it says gross because I'm not talking about taxes because I didn't pick up a pay stub. But if you want to pick up a pay stub and be technical, you can. Put their employment in. And whether they get a tax refund, it was never on the questionnaire, so I always leave it no, okay? If it was on the data collection, then I would, you know, add it there, but it's not that important. Here we go. Today's purposes, we're going to be dealing with two tabs, the savings retirement and the life insurance. That's the only one I'm working with today. You'll notice there's a lot of tabs. And yes, the more technical you are, the more you are in your dreamland. You are having fun. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have never printed a report on the second appointment with the relationship building with every one of those tabs turned on. I don't do it. Now, maybe you have some stories that you could share with me where it's really cool. I don't do it. I keep it simple. But on the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the eighth appointment, you go, really? 8 appointments? I didn't say we're going to do it all in 1 month. It might be 3 years. I've already prepared that I'm going to be meet with these people all the time. So when I pull up their F&A, I might turn on the education and go in more in detail. Emergency fund, more detail, budget planning. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, that I just had to get that technical part out of the way. Back to say retirement. The retirement tab comes up with 4 tabs here. First thing you'll notice is they said they want to retire by age 60. I always put it in what they want. There it is, 60. Age 60. What did they say? They wanted 100% of their income replaced, which is 4 and 5 is 9,000 a month. Okay. I'm not going to mess with this. Sometimes I do, but not for today's purposes. Sometimes you have to tell them they're going to have to make additional income during retirement. You might have to do that because they just are living in a dream world. They think they can retire by 60, but it's not going to happen. Okay. We're not going to talk about that today, but that's a nice little tab to solve problems. Here we go, benefits. You'll notice on the benefits, I don't even have the Social Security turned on. I didn't even talk about that in the data collection. There's no pension. Let's go to the assets. Assets tab, we put in the 100 grand on the current 401k. That personal amount, 10% of 5,000 is 500 bucks. Let me pause for a minute for the techie people. Wayne, that's actually, they're probably putting away more money because that would be 10% of gross. I understand. I understand. Today's purposes, I'm trying to simplify it. 10% of 5,000, 500 bucks. The 3% match is 150. Mike's 401k, the old one, is 85 grand from a previous employer. And then you got Patricia's 401k at 80,400, which is 10%, and 3% is 120 per month. I didn't even put down any details down here because we're not going to talk about it, but sometimes I'll put down their personal savings. I have a great example I shared with I had a gentleman about a month and a half ago. I don't know how he got it. I guess he was in his, he's 60, 70. I shouldn't stereotype, but whatever. He was doing the $B Smart with like one finger. Okay. And he was doing all that. And I got to that page here on the action plan, the one that says, do you have any assets from outside? He goes, yeah, I have $800,000 in my checking. Well, $B Smart did not catch that because he didn't answer the question right on $B Smart. I would have walked away and never knew about the 800 grand. 800,000 sitting in my checking. I got that off before. Unbelievable. That would go down here, by the way, under non-retirement assets. Moving on, results. Now here comes the techie part. Let's see, it's almost 10 o'clock. We got a warning sign here. This couple, let's read together, are making $9,000 a month combined. They want 100% of their income replaced with inflation, which actually, in my opinion, is actually too low, 2.5%, right over here to the right. That equates to, in 12 years or 17 years, there's an age difference here. By the time they retire at age 60, they'll need $12,200 a month. We do not have the Social Security turned on. This is their current assets, what they're saving per month with match. And the warning comes out, and you'll notice it right here in the middle. Let's see. Can everybody actually see me highlight this?
Yes.
Okay. 8,000 per month is what you need to be doing. $7,305 short. How much do they make per month? Could you imagine hitting the print button, Aaron, and going on your carry bag or your take back, and you printed that? People would look at you like you're a freaking moron. They'd be like, that's why you have to hire on with Primerica, because you're in trouble. Okay, now you can print that if you want. I might print that after the fact if I'm going to recruit them. Okay, but the bottom line is, you guys are professionals. You will not print this. I'll be, man, if I had one of my people on my teammate print this and went on a take back, I'd be like, after I punched him out and I had to give him smelling salts to wake up, I'm going to be like, what the, are you kidding me? 7,000 a month short. But the financial independence number is 2.9 million. Everybody follow me?
Yes.
We have a problem here. We have a big problem. They're short. These people are living in dreamland. They want 100% replaced. They think 265 is a lot of money, but they're short. So let's take a look at what we can do as professionals. Let's go back to their goal. Let's just make some adjustments. I'm going to adjust this first thing. I'm going to go ahead and keep the 60 for just now. Okay. Now you might wonder, what? No, I don't want to move that too fast. We'll just keep it at 60. We'll keep the 100%. But let's see if we can do this. They're in their 40s. This is my professional opinion. If you're 40 or older, I don't think you're going to wake up one day and not have Social Security. That does not get votes. If you're a politician, you're trying to get to be president of the United States, you won't run well on that ticket if you're going to get rid of Social Security. I'm going to tell you right now. So I believe there'll be some kind of form of Social Security. So let's click these on. Had nothing to do with the data collection. This is just a professional putting something together. So now let's jump to the results. Let's see if it fixed it a little bit. Oh, we're only down to $4,857. Not that good yet. We still got a problem here. And that's what Social Security kicked on. Now, the reality is that they want to, Mike, they want to retire by age 60. Now, some people might say, well, Wayne, why don't you print that and have them come to work for us and make an additional $4,000 a month and they'll reach their goal? You can do that. But I want reality, and then I want to work on a project. The project meaning not a project, that's not a good word. I want to work on the opportunity to build their financial independence, but at the same time, work towards building a business. Does that make sense? I said a project, but we don't, one rule of thumb, you don't want to hire people and have a project. Okay. That's the last thing you want. Never mind. That's another topic. Okay. But back to this, $4,857 more per month. Still not good. If you hit the print button, no, stop. Here we go. Let's go back to goals. What is normal retirement age for a 40-year-old today? What age?
67.
67.
67. Very good. So let's move this to 67. Now we'll keep the Social Security on. Now I know I added 7 more years, but you want to print something that's professional. Now let's take a look at the results. Wow, congratulations. Went from a nightmare to now you're professionally showing something. People go, really? 7 years will make that big of a difference? Yeah. Now their financial independence number changed to 2 million. But now we're looking at actually a surplus of $129,000 surplus towards our financial independence. Now, I don't like that number, Aaron. I don't like come back and go, hey, high five, everything's doing well, you're doing great, awesome, here we go. Now, remember, they're moving $85,000 with you. Okay, today's topic is not to share with you where to put that 85. That's a different program. That's securities, okay, 101. Today's purpose is we know that 85 is moving with us. But what was their dollar amount, Aaron, per month that they're willing to do into a Roth IRA?
Was it 200
Yep,
total?
$200. You're exactly right. So let's look at this real quick. Down here to the left is other amount. Now here's where people make mistakes. You need to take their personal savings here to the left at 900, add 200 to that, and this number down here will be $1,100. Click on go. It opens up a third column. Now, the middle column is the bare minimum, right? They need $2,032,000 to meet their goal and retire. They're on track to 2.1 million. The difference between 2.1 and 2.2 is a difference of about, let me see, I wrote down about $120,000. You'll notice I got it check marked. That's what I call the fun money. I always print fun money. Now there's some exceptions to the rule where these people are broke or I'm in the wrong market. But for all practical purposes, if you're in the right market, you need to talk about having some fun. Now, wouldn't it be ideal to have all this Roth money of 200 a month built up, 120 grand of it, and be able to have a little bit of fun? So meanwhile, I'm going to monitor your current 401k, help you out. And sometimes I'll even plant a seed that at 59.5, there's an in-service distribution that we need to revisit on. Either way, I'm going to help you and maintain it to get that 2.1 million. Worst case scenario, 2 million. But because you're willing to commit to that $200 on that Roth, we're going to have not only more surplus socked away where you can financially have the opportunity to have a blast, like travel. And this is why you need to build relationships and get to know these people. Find out what their dreams are. We should be doing that anyways. Get the RV you want, retire your mom, whatever the case might be that's on their agenda. The bottom line is that we want always to have the minimum, which is right there in the middle, or sometimes it's a combination of both. It's one and the same. Either way, they got to have their financial independence put in place. And that's shown here in detail. A lot of times I'll click on where you stand and it shows that you're on track for 2.1 million, a little techie, I know. This is your wife still working. You quit, right? You got your Social Security coming in. That leaves a shortfall of 4,600 a month, which we're going to take that from your 2.1 million. And that'll take you through your life expectancy. Women live longer than men, age 86 versus 84. And then you can talk about that technical spreadsheet. This one, which is checkmarked to the right, details the surplus, which is the fun money. Now, for the people that are not security licensed, you can actually show this. You can show the spreadsheet. You can show the F&A. You can circle or write on the F&A, their own personal copy, and say surplus, 120 grand. Here's another fun way of doing it. Let me show you something else. Oh gosh, everybody's faces are in the way. Hold on a minute. I got to move you around. Isn't that annoying when you try to, it's like the faces are right in the middle of your icon. Right up here at the top is a financial calculator. A lot of you might know this, some of you don't. I have a lot of my non-licensed security reps will click on this and go like this. Watch closely. How many years is it before they retire? An average of about 20 years, right? One was 17, the other one was right. So let's just use 20. So let's just put this Roth together. Now I'm going to have a licensed professional. Her name's Erin. They'll go over this in detail, but let's just say on an average it's 9%. We're going to do 200 a month. 20 years, and you change it to years, and 200 a month. And there's the fun money, 135,000. Worst case scenario, we're going to keep it at 120, but somewhere between 120, 135, and you could show them that. That's why it's so important for you to meet with Erin next week. Man, when she gets together with you, this is just a calculator. Wait until she shows you some real programs that we can put in place, and she'll also do that 85,000 for you. Make sense? You still got to sell it, the program. Everybody catching on? So back to the program. All right, did I go too fast? Is everybody clicking and clacking?
All
We're
good.
great.
We're having a
Good.
mental, people are probably having a mental collapse. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So what did we learn from this? We got a congratulations. We got 120,000 to 135,000 of fun money. You guys, I'm pausing for a minute, but you know how exciting it is when you talk about how they're going to enjoy retirement. Most people's attitude is, I hope I can retire. I hope it can happen. It's a dream for me, right? This is the coolest thing. And I'm going to take you every step of the way on this journey, Aaron, to get that 2 million minimum, hopefully 2.1 million, but to have that surplus because you're doing that 200 a month in the Roth so you can have fun and travel and do the things you enjoy. See, all this, look, it's like, you think that security specialist is going to have any problem writing up a security sale or rolling over 85 grand if you do a good job?
Not at all.
Absolutely not. They'd have no problem. Let's go to life insurance. Now, life insurance, most of us are veterans on the phone. I'm just keeping things simple. We're not going to deal with any existing. The assets tab right here under life insurance automatically imports the information over from the retirement. Now let's talk about the need. Remember on this page here, the perfect, right? Everybody understand that determining the perfect protection?
Mhm.
First question out of the day was how much debt you got? Well, they got 53,200 in debt. You can actually type that right there. And it automatically puts it on both columns from the Patricia and Mike both. 187 for the mortgage, 15,000 for the funeral. Up here, what we say, 75% of their income needs to be replaced. So you put that in. They're non-tobacco. I'm not gonna worry about height and weight. You can always put that in because that is also on the form. But for today's purposes, I'm not worrying about height and weight. Let's look at the results. Result tab comes up. You're gonna see a problem. Oh my God, it's $349 a month. They said they can only do 125 a piece, right? By the way, you go up here under assumptions. You need to change this child rider to 50,000. You see that? I went up to assumptions, 50,000 or child rider. You do not put 50 on both because otherwise the company will not approve that. Okay. All right. So you save button, you put 50,000 on whether you want it on the husband or the wife, whatever, it doesn't matter. So now we're up to 376. It's like, man, we got some challenges here. This is way overboard. And they wanted perfect protection, right? But they committed to the middle. The middle was 125 a piece, not 200 a piece. Now watch closely. You're a professional. You don't print this, but you're going to see something next few minutes. I don't really get rid of it because I have story upon story where I've actually got commitments, Aaron, for 250 a month, which is 125 a piece. And they would stare at this one and go, honey, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's do the 376. I know it's a little bit more, but we really need this. I think 634 and 626 would be perfect because that is the perfect protection.
Right.
But we have to, as professionals, get another quote down here at the bottom. Get a quote to add a third column. You can use triple choice if you want. There is a button for that for the techies. Today's purposes, I'm not doing that. Okay, here we go. I'm going to change it to a 25-year term because we hear, especially when you're in the 40s, I always try to keep it around 25 years. You can do 35 if you want, but for today's purpose, I'm going to do a 25-year term. And let's do the first adjustment. Let's see if we can cut it in half. Let's do 300 on him and 300 on the spouse. Okay. Remember, the kids are at 50,000 under the Mike's policy. Calculate. 200, not bad. Maybe I should show this. But remember, what did they commit to? What did they commit to?
250.
250.
Now, they wanted perfect protection. I'll tell them that. The perfect protection is that $376 program. I'm trying to keep it in the budget, so let's bump this up a little bit more. How about we do 350 a piece? You see where I'm doing this? Now, you know what's funny too? I forgot to mention this earlier. If we all got off Zoom and took these same data and went in our closet and figured out F&A, we'd have 50, how many people are online right now? 60 people are online. We'd have 60 different F&As. And I had a techie person, Ethan, many years ago. So Wayne, there's something wrong. If 60 people would go into their own closet with the same data and had 60 different F&As, they must be all wrong. I go, no, no, no. It's your conviction. It's Wayne Olson's conviction and 100% commitment to these numbers. So every F&A is correct. Every F&A is correct. This is my conviction. Yours might have been to keep it at 300 apiece. I just bumped it to 350. You calculate it. Wow, we're at 234. I think that's a good one. Let's print that. So now when they look at the example, tell us, they see in the middle the perfect protection that would meet your goals, 376. But because I'm a professional, I wanted to make sure that we could keep it in line with what you said you could put away. You notice women, we give them a great discount. So you are taking a little bit of the load there from your spouse, but also it has the kids on there, 166, right? But it's still 234. It's under the 250 you said you could do. So when you look at this, Mr. and Miss Mike and Patricia, the middle portion would meet your goals. The other quote would meet your budget. Which one do you think would best describe your family? They might just say the 376 or something in between. Sometimes I've had people go, well, what would it be like if we did get it to 300 and 300? And then you end up with a $200 app. We got a lot of veterans on here. Would anybody have a problem with $200? I don't think you would, okay? Bottom line is your job is to get to point out reality, but make sure it's reality for them too. Does that make sense? And then move the boat in that general direction. Any questions so far on that? I think I got that pretty much plugged here. I'm doing good. I was a little nervous when I looked at the clock, Laura. I thought, oh crap, I'm on track to be done by 11. Okay, here we go. I'm wrapping things up. So here's the prettiness, right? You hit the print button. You might add a few things. Sometimes I add the will, but you'll see the defaults come up: blueprint, 3-account system, retirement needs. And I sometimes will click on where they stand if I want. Remember, where they stand is the 2 million. The details of their goal includes the Roth IRA. You understand that? I could actually turn this off and go to this one if I wanted to. But for today's purposes, we're going to include the Roth IRA. And then it has the life insurance needs, the results, quick, right? And then what you witnessed 2 weeks ago was where I highlighted and made it all pretty. And that's where you're telling the picture as you go through the process. As you can see, the print commands coming up. I'm still old fashioned. I print it and I give it to them, and it's binded up. It looks pretty. It looks like value, right, being conveyed. And then I paint the picture and I go through the 3-account system. I talk about congratulations. I talk about the surplus, which is showing the difference between this and that is the surplus. I might throw in the financial calculator if you're not security licensed to show them the 135 grand. And then I give them the spreadsheet. I know it's a little techy, but it gives them peace to know that they're not going to run out of money while having a blast and having fun, going on vacations and doing all the things. And I laugh, man. If anybody's ever witnessed this, if you ever come up to Nebraska, there's more laughing done in my office than there is. It's like, it's hard to explain. Okay. But then we talk about the coverage. We said the perfect coverage is 634, 626. As we build financial independence for you towards that 2 million, we need to protect you for the short run. The middle portion is the meet your goals. This one here would meet your budget. Which one best describes you? 3-box close and you write it up. Everybody follow me? But that's not how it ends. That's how it seems like it ends. No. Let's go back to strategy. Okay, any questions before I shift gears? Because I'm coming down to the end, which is about maybe another 5 minutes. I'm going to try to get done in about 5 to 8, but then there might be some questions. We'll be done at 10:30. Who knows? But I'm looking at that clock, making sure I'm professional for you guys' times today. Any major questions, Aaron, anything like that? Anything about this? Any comments as a leader?
I just feel so much peace about this because the feedback that we get so many times is just, I would love to be able to have a way of keeping things straight all the time, easily transferable. And I think that what you're doing so well today, what you are doing is, one, you're giving us as leadership so much confidence in our ability to duplicate this to others. This is just world class. And I think to the newest people on here, if you don't see the chats, people are blowing it up right now. Just so grateful because they can see a business. They can see like the full impact that's made for families. And I shot a message and just said, and I don't want to take any longer, but the fact that each and every one of you committed to being here, I would want every single one of you to take this training and implement this in front of my grandmother or in front of my sister or in front of my parents. And so I'm proud of you guys for committing to this.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, good. All right, so let me shut down the techie part. Let's go back. Bob, you're going to appreciate that. You and I are veterans here, but let me shut down all this techie stuff. Now let's talk about the picture as we wrap it up. We shrink this puppy down. Let me go back to, there we go, this one. Okay. We started off this morning with the data collection. Let me move this. Guys' pictures are in the way again. I can't. That's really nerve-wracking. Zoom really bugs me sometimes. Okay.
And always thinks it's hilarious because I shut everybody's cameras off and he's like, Aaron, you don't even know if people are enjoying anything. I'm like, because squirrel, I can't.
It is. It's very difficult for our age because then I've already got squirrel.
Yeah, I'm looking at your face.
All that stuff is like, golly. Okay, let's look at this old 401k. If you're not licensed, you might put notes in here as you're meeting with Aaron. Let's say Aaron and I get together and I've already set the appointment for the $85,000 rollover. I set an appointment for the $200 a month Roth IRA. What did you accomplish that day? You wrote up the Life app, right? And you set it up, you write up the Life app, you get referrals, and you set the appointment for the security professional. Okay. Now, here's how it works. So we got this old 401k. You might throw in some notes and you can do that. I'm not going to type today, but you can kind of see the gibberish that's coming up. You just write down whatever comes to tricks or trigger. They've been 10 years since they've worked at CHI. You know, you put down whatever. And it was a solid commitment. And that's what the note taking is. When you meet with Aaron, boy, this is slow. When we meet with Aaron or the security professional, she would put in the action steps. This is what we're going to do. And you need to learn, even though you're not security licensed, you need to observe what she's putting together. We're going to do an Invesco with the Roth IRA, which is the second box, right? You sit down and piece it together. The new recruit especially needs to see how the picture's put together. You could actually meet with them twice, one prior to the second appointment, so you can talk about the life insurance and all, especially if they did a policy pickup. Spend time writing notes down. You know, this is whole life and this is how it works. You put the notes in and here's the action plan. We're going to show them, and then you illustrate, Aaron, with them. The perfect protection is 300 and what would we say? $376 a month. But more than likely, they'll probably either do 200 a month or 234. And you put that in the notes over here. Everybody catching on? But that's not where it ends. Relationship building. There's a ton of info on here that I transposed to a CRM, client relationship manager. Let me give you some ideas. I put down on here future plans. Okay, you might sit down and talk about, remember now, this all goes in the CRM as notes. It starts here because you want the new recruit to see how you're putting the story together. This is a story from front introduction of the book all the way to the end. What is the end? When they die. But it doesn't die there because we got legacy. See, one of the mistakes we made in the early days, I'm a poster child for that, and Bob, you could raise your hand too, is that we did an effective job on the front end. Whole life sucks, sign here. That's what we did. And we bought term, by term of difference, maybe. Not because we intentionally did it. We just had to do a lot of appointments. Otherwise, we'd be broke. That was the reality. But here's where it's different. You have actually seen the picture. Aaron, you have sat down. You've gone through how to compile, which is number 1, 2, and 3, future plans. Start to strategize. What is your follow-up plan? Okay, what is your follow-up plan? What do you plan on doing here in the near future? Well, I'd like to meet with them in 6 months, and I'd like to put together a game plan for because they're in their 40s. I want to, well, this is probably not a great example on this one because they're in their teenage years, but a lot of times when I'm working with 60-year-olds, Bob, I will say, who's your kids? And they go, oh, they're all grown, 25, 28, 30. And Aaron, I'm moving, let's say 800,000. So you're getting all excited because you're moving 800 grand and you forget that if they die, who inherits that 800 grand?
Mhm.
So we need to get you registered for some seminars. So you get together with your leader and you find out what's the next latest seminar going on. And if you don't do seminars, plug into anybody's. I don't care. If you want to plug into ours, you can do it. It's no skin off my back. I'm just not going to follow up with your clients. Does that make sense? That's your job. But I'm going to be airing a seminar with or without you. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
get together with your leader. If your leader doesn't do seminars, you need to talk about that. Those are what they call touch points. I think that's what it is. They need to see that and feel it, guys. I'm telling you, I crock-potted my business and it took almost 4 years to put it in place.
Mm.
But once I started, I put down this 59 and a half. And I would write down, that was stupid. I typed wrong. Okay, 59 and a half. I'd put in the date. Can anybody help me with the techies in the room? What is their age? What did I say the age was?
48.
Nope, these are in their 40s. So, golly, I lost it here. Whatever. It's in
48.
years. You can actually, I don't know if Raina's on here. She's an office assistant with me. I actually put in my CRM a tagline for 10 years to do the 59 and a half in-service distribution. She has right now, this lady that's 50 years old, she has right now close to about 400 grand. There's a possibility with my help, because I'm going to meet with them to do their 401k reviews, that should double twice. That's $1.6 million rollover by age 59 and a half. You see how my commitment is there?
Mhm.
You thought all we do is print F&As and go to the next appointment. No. Put that in the CRM, which stands for Client Relationship Manager. You got to have some kind of follow-up. So you got seminars, 59 and a half. You key that in. You talk about, get creative. We do Social Security seminars. What's your game plan for referrals? What's your game plan for referrals? You know, it's good to write it down, you know, so that way you're thinking it. So you're like, okay, you know, I didn't do a good job on getting those. Well, I'm going to work differently here. I want to get to know the kids and go from there. How about this, Aaron? Let's say you really think this guy would be a great recruit, but the timing's wrong. You can just know it, especially if you meet with him on a securities follow-up. You say, man, this guy's got great charisma. He'd be awesome for wow, but the timing sucks. Well, you put that in your CRM to follow up. I call it, how do you call it? It's like walking around advertisement.
Mhm.
Think about it this way. You go, man, it's unbelievable. Man, I talked to you about the business. It's like 10 times better than I thought it was. How's your life going? Oh, I'm still working 80 hours a week. Yeah, man, gosh, that's tough. I don't know how you do that. See? Follow up. I'm big into that. And that's what we were crock-potting. Communication is the key. You know, that's the key. Relationship building, get to know their kids. And then when you put that in your CRM, they can actually know that you know them. Is this too rough? Is this like melting everybody's head? Right?
No, this is how you
Well,
run a
Perfect.
business, people
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
Now, you'll notice that this form is not the CRM, but the new recruit needs to see your brain, how it's thinking.
Yeah.
You know why people quit? There's many reasons, so we don't have all the time to do that. But the number one reason is, of course, not making any money. But I think really it's actually the opposite, belief.
Yeah.
Belief is the number one reason why people don't make it here. I've actually had a person get a bonus on Friday and quit Monday.
Mm.
So if people say, well, it's the money. That's the reason why they quit. They didn't make any money. That's why they're gone. No, it's a part of it, Ethan. But it's belief. If they don't believe, they're not going to stick around. That's where you're doing. As a leader, you are painting the picture of the future. Aaron, if you get your securities license, you have 12 years to do it. Please don't take that long. You'll have 1.4 million to move.
Mm.
Do you see that?
Yep.
You got to do this. I know it's time consuming, but you got to paint the big picture. This is not a marathon, meaning real quick, or microwave, excuse me. It's not a microwave, it's a crock pot to get it going. Out of appreciation to each and every one of you here, we got about 4 minutes. I'm going to end on that note, make sure everybody, I would have actually typed this a little bit cleaner about the future and all those things, but I think you guys are getting the gist of it. You know, there's seminars, there's all kinds of different ways. Your game plan is basically what you're putting in place. Aaron, any questions from anybody? Or I don't know how to look at the chat thing. So if somebody's asked me a question, I apologize. I don't know how to do that. So any questions out there?
I don't have any questions. I'd love the opportunity for other coaches to pipe up and just share what you took from this, any questions that you have, and just positive feedback to help other people.
Hey, Wayne and Aaron, this was outstanding and so incredibly valuable, and it'll be a resource that we can go back to, correct? It's recorded. And then Wayne, what interest rate did you use during the growth period and the example that you used for the retirement accumulation?
I used the 9%, which is the max on there. You're talking about the FNA, the financial aid.
Yeah, that is awesome.
9. It does vary. I know that we've had some rocky times, so 8's probably the better answer. I believe the default is 8. It depends on the circumstances. I'd say I always go with the default unless for some reason people screwed up, didn't save enough money. So the maximum we can do is 9. The company a while back, not to show my gray hair in front of you, used to be able to, you could do 12. And
Yeah.
those were fake FNAs because the market, you know, obviously has had some great turmoil here in the last 20 years. So I'm kind of glad. Some people get pissed off at the 9. I'm actually glad that they have the 9.
Yeah,
I think 9 is
realistic.
the answer. So
Yeah, thank you. This was
so,
great. Thank you,
I hope
Wayne.
that helps. Good question.
Any other coaches want to end on some positive feedback or any questions that you have? This is unbelievable.
I mean, I have a question about the seminars. Can you explain those just a little bit?
Let me see here. Let me see if I can. Rebecca, are you on? She designs them. I just show up. So, Rebecca, are you on? It's probably. I think she's got a seminar.
she is.
she's doing. Oh, good. She's working on a seminar. When's your seminar start? I think it's one starting right now, isn't it?
It starts in 30 minutes.
That's
How many?
so awesome.
30 minutes. She's doing one. Maybe you could share, Mike, since you asked the question. They're doing one for kids, I think, right now. And I'll share a couple ideas if she doesn't fill in the blanks correctly. So go ahead.
What am I going ahead about?
Ideas.
Sorry, it was kind of loud in here.
Yes, he asked go ahead and ask the question again, Mike.
I was just asking, so Wayne brought up the seminars. I was just asking to kind of explain those a little bit and what those entail.
You're asking what? Sorry.
Seminar.
Uh, just-
Espresso machine.
No, you're
Just-
fine.
Just to explain the seminars and what those entail.
Well, we actually do a client workshop once a week. We were doing like a normal op meeting, but we just focused on like basically the how money works and here's our experience, and then just have one that we can send all the clients to, and then have the recruiting conversation separate. So we just do kind of like how money works basically, but then we also have, you know, like quarterly
Social Security.
security seminars that we do with our wholesalers. We'll have like Mason come in and do like a Zoom call on a, you know, market update. We'll do today, Raina and I are doing how money works for kids. So we're just utilizing those things, get out there, do. I know Hector does a lot of events.
Fidelity, let me throw in a couple more here, Mike, for you. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yep.
Good luck today. It's going to be amazing.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Let me get you some meat here. Fidelity's got a cybersecurity one. People go, what does cybersecurity got to do with financial independence? It's just another touch. Another thing that we've created is that we got legacy planning for your kids. That's a great one to invite your kids to. Parents have to bring their children with, and hopefully they're adult kids. She's working with teenagers right now. That's how she's doing it. Another one is college planning, especially if they got kids that are under the age of 18. You can have seminars that pertain to college planning. We have a vendor I got out of Indiana that actually can work that up. But I will do you guys a big favor, because I don't mind having extra eyeballs. Hopefully those eyeballs are clients. It's your job to follow up with them, but whenever we get one lined up, I'll let Rebecca know, Aaron, and whoever, all the other leaders, and then you guys are welcome to jump on and use our Zoom. I don't care. Why does it matter? Let's all go win. Does that make sense?
That's
But
awesome.
that's a
Thank you.
great question, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
A really great thing to think about, guys, really fast that I just want to share is two final thoughts. One, if there was something that brought a sense of community and home and value in the place that you live, what would you be looking for? What would be a theme of something that you'd be looking for? And you can build something out from there that integrates some of these financial concepts in there. Great example was Jennifer on our team. Or Jenna on our team is amazing at connecting with different people in the community. So she's always in the library. And so she'll go to the library and she works in the library because she's got 3 little ones, like little ones, right? And so they're running around, they can play games, they can read books. And she says, mommy's going to do this. When mommy achieves this goal, we're going to go together. Like, so they're really fired up about that. But because she's always there and she's creating that familiarity, I can't use that word, right? But you get the point. So then people ask, like, what is it that you do? And so she has like an idea of like a financial bingo. They like a form of entertainment, right? People are really excited. They want to be a part of something. And so just different ideas, but there's so many of them. That's just one. Obviously, there's a lot of tremendously professional ones. One thing I want to say to you guys here really quickly, just in case anybody needed to hear this, man, I don't know if Matt Goodwin can say anything right now on here, if he can unmute himself. But guys, I'm telling you right now, there are so many people out there that are used to making a tremendous amount of money and they have to do all of it. They have to do all of it. And everything about their quality of life is totally tied to what the economy is doing. And so they're able to help their clients in one way, but they're not able to keep doing that. They might be at the peak of their game. They might make $700,000 a year, which is so far from where I came from. But they might make $700,000 a year and they're the only one that does it, that can do it, right? They can't duplicate that impact to other people. But what we learned today was about being able to do the full job for people, make such an impact for our clients and be able to transfer that to other people. Like, holy cow, do we have any idea what we have our hands on right now? It's just so unbelievable. I'm grateful.
One more comment here, Aaron. I sincerely believe, as God is my witness, that, yeah, this was technical today. But if you really truly believe in your heart that this is where you, now you got to do the prayer. I'm talking like Shane now. And this is where you're supposed to be. Don't ever make excuses you can't make money in Primerica. I'm going to tell you right now, that was one of my biggest pet peeves. It's because it's you. It's not Primerica. Primerica works, right? It works. I'm a living example of it. You got to create the engine of commitment. And commitment goes both ways. It's commitment from a client and it's a commitment from you. And if you're willing to take this journey, I tell you, it's so much fun, guys. And I know that sounds like I'm preaching here, but man, one of my hardest things that my wife and I do, and we pray all the time, and it hurts, man, when I see people hurting financially. I get it, man, with inflation, hyperinflation going on. Dude, it sucks right now. Health insurance is off the kilter, right? But don't ever be one of these people on here that have a financial problem. We're supposed to be the answer for people.
That's right.
We're supposed to be the answer for people. Man, you can go change people's lives. You can make a difference. This technical stuff is just the tool. But man, deliver, Aaron. That's what it's all about. Deliver. Whether you're a master at recruiting and leadership, right? Or you're a master at duplication, which is what we've been working on. And we want to duplicate and duplicate. We want to have lots of mini Aarons out there that we can sit back and go, whoa, man, I don't know what's going on, but they're all A-type personalities. We need to clean this up. Okay, so, right? Thank God there's people like Rebecca that are smart. I'm so proud of her. She's doing these, she told me she was doing these kids seminars and they got coloring books. I said, are you guys going to get anything accomplished? She says, I don't know, but their parents are coming with. I said, it sounds like a souped up daycare. All I know, right? Hopefully she doesn't have me online here. Probably people are getting offended. But the bottom line is that, isn't that awesome? God, that's why, Mike, I couldn't answer your question. We always got seminars. We're always doing stuff. I love communicating with my clients. They laugh all the time. It's a blast, and you can go enjoy a wonderful, wonderful life. And that's what Primerica is all about. I hope you guys learned a ton today. I appreciate and love you, each and every one of you. I'll be seeing a lot of you guys here in a couple of weeks here. I will not be here next Saturday. That doesn't mean because I don't like you anymore. It's because I'm going to a baseball game. I'm going to have a
Yep,
blast.
we love you. We're gonna fly the plane.
Then I guess, well, no, the next following Saturday we'll probably have something, but isn't that the day before the diplomat? Trying to lose track of my brain here. But yeah, so I guess we'll be on that next Saturday. So next Saturday I won't be with you, but the next one after that, if we're having one, I will be there. Okay.
It's gonna be
Thank
unbelievable.
you for everything,
Coach.
Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
guys.
So amazing.
Good one. All right.